Created in 1974, Wolverine is one of Marvel Comics' most recognizable and iconic anti-heroes. With his brooding nature, willingness to use deadly force, and his overall gruff loner persona, he's a character who has managed to appeal and resonate with a lot of fans. So naturally, like other popular comic book characters, he's got a slew of alternate versions that exist in parallel universes in his publisher's multiverse. We've talked about many of them before on this channel, but today we're revisiting them with our list of the top 10 alternate versions of Wolverine, cooler than the original. And yeah, keep in mind, this is a tad subjective. So let's get to our list. In at number 10, Marvel Mangaverse. The Marvel Mangaverse is incredibly cool. Set on Earth 2301, it came to be when the Light Giver, a living energy force, created sentient life in the universe. Now in this reality, things for mutants and the X-Men are a tad different. Rather than Charles Xavier being responsible for forming the X-Men, Logan is. His claws are different too. He's got one set of claws on his left hand shaped like katanas and presumably made of adamantium, while on his right hand the claws are made of red energy, similar to Cyclops' optic beams. They kind of look like lightsabers. Many have noticed that aesthetically his outfit looks a whole lot like Vegeta's from Dragon Ball Z, which some believe may be an homage to the character considering this is, in fact, the Mangaverse. Anyway, it's hinted to that the reason why one of Wolverine's claws is made of energy is because Cyclops, his brother in this reality, cost him his right hand, and he cost Cyclops one of his eyes. Moving on to number 9, Earth 92131. So this one might really hit that whole subjective nail right on the head. Anyone who grew up in the 90s though might fully agree that this version of Wolverine from Earth 92131, the X-Men animated series, should definitely be on this list. Now, to many X-Men fans, this was their introduction to the world of mutants, and in some cases to Marvel. Voiced by Cathal J. Dodd, this Wolverine has become absolutely iconic, from his costume to his gruff, raspy voice. And this iteration of Logan was one of the most impactful depictions of the character, having largely influenced the character for years to come. Plus that theme music, how could you not love it? In at number 8, Marvel Noir. Marvel Noir is a gritty universe set in the 1930s on Earth 90214. Note that there are two alternates of Wolverine in the Marvel Noir universe, thanks to a continuity error that's never actually been revised. We're going to talk about both though, who are kind of one and the same but also different. Yeah. In X-Men Noir, Mark of Cain, Wolverine is a bootlegger with a mysterious past who gets involved with Jean Grey, a manipulative grifter. He scratched out and scarred Cyclops' left eye, and he spends most of his time drunk. Then there's Jim Logan of Wolverine Noir, who is a private investigator with a gruesome upbringing in a Catholic family. So, which one of these is technically canon? We might never know, but both are pretty awesome in their own respects. In at number 7, something a little more sinister, Hydra Wolverine. First appearing in Exiles issue 92, this version of Wolverine is, you guessed it, evil. Hailing from Earth 1720, this agent of Hydra also romantically got involved with Sue Storm in this reality, who is Madame Hydra. The two of them would rule this universe but got greedy, wanting more power, so set out to rule the entire multiverse. They would hop around conquering different Earths until an alternate version of Kitty Pryde picked up on what they were doing and pursued them. This version of Logan met his untimely end though, and was killed by his own claws. Ouch. In at 6, Ultimate Wolverine. From the 1610 universe, James Lucky Jim Howlett has the same abilities as his 616 counterpart, and initially, rather than joining up wholeheartedly with the X-Men, he actually followed Magneto. He worked as a double agent with the intention of killing Charles Xavier. But then, he fell in love with Jean Grey, which caused him to switch sides and rebel against Magneto. He is a darker, more cynical, and violent version of Logan, much more morally ambiguous than his 616 counterpart, kinda like the other alternates in the 1610 Ultimate universe. His journey with the X-Men of this Earth actually leads him down a positive path though, with him gradually regaining his humanity as the series moves forward. In at 5, General James Howlett. General James Howlett from Earth 12025 is the Governor General of the Dominion of Canada. Yeah. And the Viceroy of Her Majesty's expedition to Shangri-La. He's got gold claws. That's the color of the adamantium on his skeleton, which was a gift from Hercules. Now, some of you might actually know him better as the gay Wolverine. This is the version of Logan who is romantically entangled with Hercules, with the two of them becoming known as this Earth's greatest heroes. They kept their relationship hidden from everyone, including Hercules' father, Zeus. Because, you can't get it on with mortals. Hopefully Zeus just wasn't homophobic. When Zeus did find out, he banished them to Tartarus, where they were forced to fight damned souls for 4 years together, non-stop. Eventually, Howlett would be abducted by Xavier, who was an evil alternate of Charles Xavier, who planned to use him to be a mutant power source. Luckily, Howlett would escape alongside the 616 Cyclops and joined up with a group of multi-dimensional X-Men, known as the Extreme X-Men. But fret not though, Hercules and Howlett would be reunited and work together yet again. Up next at 4, Mr. Murderhands. Oh, come on, with a name like that, how could you not love him? Mr. Murderhands first appeared in Spider-Gwen issue 20. He is a brutal bounty hunter who wears a cowboy hat and is all about getting his mark. He's also an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. to boot. While not much is known about him in comparison to some of the other alternates on our list, it is rumored that he once was a samurai who was cursed to walk the earth for every life he ended. Yikes. And at number 3, Age of Apocalypse. Hailing from Earth 295, better known as the Age of Apocalypse timeline, this Wolverine is referred to as Weapon X. Like some of our other variants on this list, he's lost one of his hands thanks to Cyclops. Except, there's no laser claw replacement here. Instead, he just uses the claws on his other hand. He's also married to Jean Grey in this reality. Yay! In later stories in this timeline, he would become Weapon Omega, a self-proclaimed heir of Apocalypse who was augmented by Celestials, becoming a villainous force that would eventually have to be stopped by Jean Grey herself. Up next, number 2, Old Man Logan. Old Man Logan is James Howlett of Earth 807128 from the Old Man Logan series. Now his story begins on a fateful night when there was a supervillain uprising, in which all the villains took down all of the heroes. Mysterio was forced to create an illusion, making Logan believe that the X-Mansion was filled with supervillains. Logan went on a rampage, killed all of them, and when the illusion was lifted, realized that he had slaughtered his fellow X-Men. He ran into the woods, stricken with grief. He tried to commit suicide but failed, so he put his past as Wolverine behind him, referring to himself as merely Logan, and refused to ever unleash his claws again. Fast forward to years later, Logan has settled down with a family living in Hulkland, which was formerly California, owned by the Hulk. After failing to pay rent, he is threatened by the Hulk gang, who is Hulk's inbred children. Hulk is not good in this reality whatsoever. And in order to pay off his debt, Logan takes on a job to escort an elderly Hawkeye across the wasteland. But by the end of the story, we learn that Hulk ordered for Logan's family to be killed anyway, and Logan seeks out revenge, ultimately murdering the insane Bruce Banner after the Hulk tries to eat him. Logan actually claws his way out from the inside out of Hulk's body, slaying him in the process, so it's pretty gruesome. But Bruce kind of deserved it. Finally, in our number 1 spot, we have Darkclaw. Wolverine combined with Batman? Hell yeah, that's pretty darn awesome. Enter Darkclaw. Darkclaw is a product of the Amalgam Universe, an alternate reality in which characters from the DC Universe and the Marvel Universe were merged together. His story is very much a combination of Logan's and Bruce Wayne's. After his parents were murdered, he discovers he has mutant powers and becomes Darkclaw, the world's greatest detective. And rather than all of his gadgets being bat-themed, they are claw-themed. The best part is, though, his number 1 foe is an amalgamation of the Joker and Sabretooth called Hyena, who is downright terrifying. Alright, there we have it, friends. What other alternate versions of Wolverine do you think are cooler than the original? Do you agree with our picks? Or do you think some other alternates should have made our list? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts and feels. If you dug this video, you guys know what to do. Hit that thumbs up button, share the love, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd if you haven't already. Join the Nerd Squad, hang out with us some more. In the meantime, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.